Overall, is it tossable? Hell yeah. Is it fun? Hell yeah. Is there enough horsepower? Hell no. I could use another 200-300 horsepower to really, well, put a bigger smile on my face. Hey Nick, behind us is the brand new BMW M5. Perhaps the most iconic BMW built. Well, except maybe the M3.
Well, I don't know about the M3, Roman, because I think the M3 is a boy's car. Real men drive the ultimate driving machine, the M5.
All right, I'll give that to you. So what's new, Nick?
There's a lot of new stuff on this car, but BMW have taken 5 major risks with the new M5.
And the question is, have they risked enough? And that is coming up right now on the Fast Lane Car. Nick, as you know, BMW M5s have always been classic rear-wheel drive German sedans, sending all that torque and power into a tire-shredding burnout. But this M5, it's all-wheel drive. Go figure.
Oh, Roman, I want to show you something inside where we can get this to a rear-wheel drive performance German driving machine. About 3 simple steps, Roman. Go into My Vehicle, then into your M setup and your MX Drive setup, and you can choose between 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive. And this is where you get your ultimate driving machine with rear-wheel drive.
So basically, that's like a drift mode.
Absolutely. Number 4 on our list, Roman, is right here, the transmission. In the previous F10 M5, there was 2 options of transmission, a 6-speed manual or a dual clutch 7-speed. However, in this new version of the M5, in the F90, we've gone to this, an automatic transmission.
So this is an 8-speed with a torque converter, Nick? Are you serious?
Yeah, we're back to the torque converter, Roman.
Is it fast?
There's only one way to find out. We happen to be at a racetrack. Why don't you take it out and see if you think it's fast?
All right, I'm in the brand new M5 here on a racetrack. Now, guys, I don't pretend to be a race car driver, so I'm gonna give you my best impression of Paul, who is a race car driver. I can tell you right away that I'm probably in over my head in this vehicle. Is this a little bit more engaging than a Hellcat? Well, we're about to find out. See how this car handles. It does seem very progressive. The car has a lot of torque, almost 600 pounds, and that comes in really handy when you're accelerating hard. The brakes, oh my gosh, very confidence inspiring. Just cooked that corner. All-wheel drive is certainly eye-opening. Gives you a lot more confidence, especially if you're somebody like me who's not used to flogging cars around racetracks. Brakes are phenomenal, and there's very little, if any, fade. At least I'm not feeling any. And I can feel the car doing a lot of magic to route power to the wheels that have traction. There is a little bit of front end plow when you overcook a corner like that, and that's because, once again, we're going from a rear wheel drive car to an all-wheel drive car, but it feels a lot smaller than it is. It really does kind of shrink around you as you hit the racetrack. How cool is that? Nothing like passing an M3 and an M5 and a Mini. Bye-bye! I think I'm gonna do something a little bit daring here and hit my M2 button. Oh yeah, 4-wheel drive sport. traction control has now been disengaged, so now I'm on my own, and my heart is thumping, because if I hose this up, it's all on me. Oh yeah, the back end is coming around a lot more. Overall, is it tossable? Hell yeah. Is it fun? Hell yeah. Does it make you want to go faster? Hell yeah. Is there enough horsepower? Hell no. I could use another 200-300 horsepower to really put a bigger smile on my face. I know that sounds crazy, but I gotta tell you, in that world of Hellcats, I could use a little bit more power. But overall, this is a fun and indeed furious car. Was that fun? Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Is this car capable of tearing a track apart? Yeah, it's capable of tearing a track apart.
This is outfitted with all of our M Performance parts. So it's got the carbon fiber kidney grills, carbon fiber side grills, carbon fiber front splitters, M Performance suspension. So you'll see it's lowered on the M Performance suspension, looks great. It's got the carbon fiber side blades as well underneath the side skirt. And it's got our titanium M Performance exhaust too. So it sounds really mean, sounds great, and it gives you some weight savings with that exhaust. All said and told, with all the parts, you're looking close to about 18 to 20 grand.
Nick, the number 3 big risk has to be all this technology that's baked into this car. I mean, if you look over here, I can control the suspension, I can control the variable ratio steering, I can even control the exhaust note. And of course, this car can appropriate power in various amounts to the front and to the rear wheels. And the question is this car driving itself, or am I the one driving the car? And there's only one way to find out, and that is to take it on the road. So the question is, how does it drive, dude? Let's take it for a ride, huh?
Yes.
The cool thing about a BMW M5 has always been that it's the kind of car that you can take to the racetrack, and yet on the weekday you could drive it to work, or you could drive it to church with your family, right? I mean, that's what's the magic. You can tell your wife, hey, I'm getting a family sedan for $100K.
Right.
But it's also a car that you can go hoon. Let's just give it a little bit of torque. You got it? Ready? Here we go. Yeah, that's the one. Oh yeah. Oh.
3.8.
3.8. That's the fastest we got.
3.89 actually.
So 3.8.
Right. And there's 2 up too.
And there's 2 of us.
Yeah.
So it should be about a 3.5 car.
So I think I was slowing you down by 0.6 of a second.
I think my dinner was slowing me down. In general, you know, there's a lot going on here, right? There's this kind of mixture of real and virtual buttons. The steering wheel certainly has a lot of buttons that you can choose from. I do like the fact that the M1 and M2 buttons are now red and prominently displayed here.
Yeah, that's
so good. If you do want to go into sport mode quickly, you can just hit that button. How do you like this dash layout?
It's not my favorite. I think I'm way over piano black.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal.
Carbon fiber.
The carbon fiber is okay. It's very traditional. The other thing is when the screen almost looks like it was an afterthought in the car. I'm not opposed. There's 2 things I like on the tech side of things. One is I really do like the virtual buttons because they come with amazing graphics. So they look clean, they look new, they almost look like there's pictures pasted onto the inside. The gauges, which are virtual, they're really clean. The graphics are sharp. The thin film transistor is really clean. What I also like about this is that BMW have their preset buttons. You can preset anything. Like not just the radio. As a passenger, I mean, even when you're doing 0 to 60, I'm not uncomfortable. Yeah,
it's a very comfortable car. There's a lot of technology in place that makes 600 horsepower very family friendly, if there's such a thing.
Yes.
Of course, the best thing about this car is when you get into the beans, right? I mean, that is just instantaneous. There's a tractor in front of me. You know, I could just boom, boom, squirt. There we go. Oh, television! The one thing that I still don't really feel coming through the steering wheel is a lot of road feel. You know, I've been changing it from M1 to M2. I've been playing with the suspension, I've been playing with the steering, and all you really get is heavier or lighter. You don't get necessarily a lot of feel, and that is the case with pretty much every modern car and electric steering. You know, when you have such things as variable ratio steering, where basically the amount of input you put into the steering wheel changes how much the wheels steer, it makes for, I think, a less direct driving experience.
It does, but it also is a lot safer. So if you make an adjustment on the freeway,
that's right,
at high speeds, you're not likely to wander over 3 lanes.
One of the interesting features of the new M5 is right here. Check it out. I can change how rapidly the gears shift by selecting up to 3 different options for kind of how hard and how fast the car shifts. It is ultimately configurable. Is it too configurable? Well, that's why you have these 2 M1 and M2 buttons that you can pre-program to your particular likes or track needs.
Let me ask you this. This is a very important question, probably the most important question you've been asked in this review, Roman.
Yes.
How much is happiness worth?
It's certainly worth $103,000, Nick.
I think you're right.
I'm gonna go with that.
I think you're right. We're down to number 2 on the list, Roman, and that is styling. Is this vehicle styled enough? Is the new M5 too conservative? Yes, it has gold brake calipers, quad exhaust, adaptive lighting housing, and that famous kidney-shaped grille which has been redesigned. But where's the fire-breathing dragon? Is this vehicle iconic enough?
But under the hood, Nick, is, well, it's the same as the previous car. It's a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, but now it puts out 40 more horsepower and 553 pound-foot of torque. And of course, like we said, no longer does this just power the front wheels, it goes to all 4 wheels, making this the first all-wheel drive M5. Nick, the number 1 big risk has to be, is 600 horsepower enough?
600 horsepower? How many horsepower do you actually need in a car, Roman? It's 600.
707, Nick. That's how much a Hellcat has. It costs $30,000 less, because this is about 100K. Plus, it'll have a top end speed of 202. How fast is this bad boy?
Well, look, I have to tell you that the top speed in the United States is 80 miles an hour.
85.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, 85 miles an hour. This vehicle does 189, which is about 100 more than you're legally allowed to do. How much speed do you really need? I think this is hitting it on the mark perfectly for the consumer.
Well, I know one thing, Nick. This is probably, no, make that definitely the last M5 that won't have an electric motor.
It'll be interesting to see where the M5 goes. We should meet back here in 10 years' time and find out how iconic this car actually became.
All right, done, dude. As always, this is Roman.
And Nick Miles.
Saying thanks for watching, and check out tflcar.com for more news, views,
and real-world reviews.
Damn straight, real-world reviews. Nick, who flew us out here?
BMW flew us out here.
Yeah, they did fly us out here. Full disclosure, they put us up in a fancy schmancy hotel, and they gave us, I think, what, 40 different cars to drive today?
And they're getting their money's worth out of us.
Yeah, we're in one car. But if you're going to be in one car,
you'd be in the M5.